So I met Gail almost 10 years ago around a crisis. I just took over the leadership at the Pittsburgh Community Improvement Association, and we were in the midst of the relocation of the residents at the Pittsburgh Civic League. And so there was a lot of confusion of what was going on. Residents had received notices about moving and there had been no supportive services. And so I met Gail in Baltimore in this huge meeting around responsible relocation, and where we were able to put together a rapid response to be able to serve 97 families and to ensure that no family was without adequate housing. Crises like that kind of took place throughout our tenure together. And so as I start to think through all of the hard stuff that we've been able to do, I'm really happy that Gail has been a partner for us and strengthening kind of the relationships of residents to be able to advocate on their own.
The community investment cycle has been one of the most best community building too that's in the NPV, in particular around the opportunity it gave people in the community to express their ideas and to implement their ideas. And like I said, it's been one of the best opportunities we had in the community when it started, particularly in Peoplestown. Also, I'd just like to talk about the community engagement part, but Cases sponsored community forum has really made it very important and made it a unique situation where we all got to know each other and know who's in NPV.
On behalf of the youth of Mechanicsville community, the Casey Foundation has provided us with resources over the past 5 years to do programming in the Mechanicsville community. It has been a great impact. We took the kids on some trips to Washington DC. We did a whole lot of other different activities with the youth in Mechanicsville, and it has been a really great experience working with the Casey Foundation on behalf of the youth of the Mechanicsville Civic Association.
When Mayor Kasim Reed ran for office, he wanted to make sure that all kids had safe and energetic spaces to go. And we've seen that the work that we've done together with the Casey Foundation, with Gail's leadership, has been phenomenal at the Dunbar neighborhood complex. There's been several investments, from a newly renovated pool to now a newly renovated gym and recreation space. And it's going to become the leader around team programming for all of our kids across the city. And we're excited that Gail has really contributed in her leadership and her thoughts around making sure that kids and families are better off through the Centers of Hope, and we hope to see that Dunbar continues to be that shining example.
We at the Georgia Justice Project have enjoyed a great relationship with Gail Hayes and the Foundation, but what's really significant is how her leadership and her vision and her work has led to a massive change throughout the state. Yes, we at the Georgia Justice Project represented hundreds of folks and helped them maintain their housing vouchers in spite of their criminal record. But we saw a massive unmet need. The criminal records are impacting folks throughout the state. So what we did is launch the Coming Home program, and that work today has, one, led to us representing hundreds of folks a year throughout the state, helping them get housing, jobs, even education, in spite of their record. But more importantly, we've been working at the statewide level, helping change the law in Georgia so that millions of people, and in fact this past year, millions of folks have their records changed because of this law. Without Gail's leadership and her vision, that never would have happened.
The Center for Working Families was one of the first strategies that got rolled out in the Civic site, and it was really one of the most important ones. When you're working to help families earn the income they need to take care of their children and participate in the community, it's so very important. So when I started working at the center, Gail was really a big driver of helping create the vision on how we were going to connect people to jobs, connect them to financial institutions that would help them keep the money they earn, and really be able to participate in civic life. But over time, I figured out through Gail's leadership that it was about much more than that. That if you really wanted to help families be successful, you had to move to a two-generation strategy. A strategy that not only thought about how do you help the mom get a job, but how do you make sure their children during the day are in a place where they're going to be successful, where they're going to be able to grow and learn, and where the parents can think about work and not worrying about their children. And Gail's leadership through the Civic site and the work we did at the Center for Working Families really helped us accomplish that. The development of the Early Learning and Literacy Center helped parents at the center have a place to take their children where they knew they'd be safe and they know they'd learn. And that combination not just produced better results for the children, but it helped parents be able to earn more income, connect more in community, and help the neighborhood grow. And the leadership that Gail provided really allowed the center to be successful.
I actually work here in Mechanicsville, where our Early Learning Literacy Resource Center is housed. Over the last 10 years, we've seen this community go through a great change. And when I say great, the early learning piece that was added was an essential part to this neighborhood where it was needed. Children were everywhere. We had children being cared for by grandparents, by older siblings, by cousins, friends, you name it. And it was a huge impact for our families because they were struggling to go to work. They had no one to care for their children, and they just needed some place that they could call safe and secure. And not only that, that their children were getting the best quality education that it could offer. And when our Early Learning Center opened, we were able to house almost 180 children. And so with that, that was really, really great. We were able to take 180 children off of the street and take care of children where parents could go to work and go to school or just do a combination of things and not to worry about their children. We really give that to Gail Hayes. She opened the doors for our children. I just stand here today and I just couldn't think where we would be without Gail. Gail has been a huge, huge impact for the entire NPV-U.